All right, so we're back from another few points from perfect episode. What episode is this?
This should be 9.
I'm telling you, we should have put the tally marks on the wall. Nobody listens to me.
We're on the table.
You're on the table.
I mean, it's a $1 table.
Everybody knows we're not going to clean the table, so they'll be there for next time. But got a guest this time, Mr. Man Behind the Scenes himself. We should say self-proclaimed. I'm air quoting for people listening to this. Self-proclaimed Man Behind the Scenes.
Still behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Still behind the
You're
scenes.
not doing a very good job staying behind the scenes anymore.
No, you're
For the
kind of
past 8 weeks I have been.
Well, yeah, you've been man disappeared.
Yeah.
Man disappeared from the scenes.
Yeah, I did disappear for a little while.
Yeah, so whenever he first started off, he was man behind the scenes, but now he's front and center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that was his plan all along.
Yeah. So I guess we should start off. Everybody's always got questions about our relationship, and the first thing we should probably clear up
Your
is,
cousins.
Are we related?
Your cousins.
Are we related?
Are we related?
Somewhere down the line, I'd say we are, but we are not that close. I know you'd love to claim me, but you can't.
No, that's quite the opposite there, bud. But
Oh.
So we've pretty much known each other our whole lives.
Yeah.
But I guess to go way back in the day, my dad and your grandpa worked together a lot.
Yep.
My dad and your dad were good friends.
Yep.
Ran around together. Of course, my dad and your grandpa worked in the coal mines together. They were both operators.
Yep.
My dad and your dad were both operators, but I don't think they worked together a whole lot on the job because your dad was union, my dad wasn't.
Yeah. And then he basically stayed with one contractor.
Yeah, one company straight on through. So, but we do share family.
Yeah, we do on both sides. That's what's weird.
Air quoting, not related again.
No,
so,
We are cousins. I was right.
No. We are family because, well, some people in our family made decisions that can be judged whether they're good or bad.
On my mom's side, we're related to the same people. On my dad's side, we're related to the same people.
I should stress.
So you're damn cousins. I was right.
It was like fifth. It's like the closest we'd ever be is probably like fifth cousins.
Still cousins.
Technicality. I mean, anything after.
Just embrace it.
Jason, don't worry. I get used to this. He's going to argue and argue.
I'm not going to claim the fact we're related because we're not related.
You say snow's white, he's going to disagree with you.
He's going to tell you it's yellow.
It depends on if you believe yourself or not.
Yeah.
So your brother and sister-in-law are also my brother and sister-in-law.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to add that in. Yeah. So it just keeps getting more and more weird.
So that don't mean we're related. That just means we share family.
Mm-hmm.
So to explain that, Jenna's sister married a guy.
Yeah.
That guy has a sister.
Yeah.
Aaron married her. I about said him. Thought I caught myself there.
That would have ended badly for you.
Yeah. So like your kids and my kids are at a joint birthday party for their cousins, but his kids and my kids are not cousins.
Right.
Because we're not cousins. Are related. But I stressed we're not related enough yet.
That's a pretty normal occurrence for that to happen, so I'm not sure why you're so defensive.
Well, just want to make sure I'm clear, that's all. We are not related. We may share family, but we're not related.
But he still calls me Big Brother.
Right. Well, that's a little different, I think.
No. So anyways, yeah. So as far as our working relationship goes, it's been 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah.
And that kind of come out on a whim. I guess it's been a whole other podcast at some point, but one thing I've never, ever, I don't think, talked about on my channel is what would you call me, a superintendent, manager, job, project foreman? I'll let you describe my title with this company, and then I'll explain what it is.
Well, at that point, I would have considered you more of you were just paperwork. I don't know if you remember that or not. You always have paperwork to do.
You just
so
keep
I would
talking. We'll be on another one of those jobs.
I would see you as a manager at that point. Me, superintendent at that point.
So I've been with the company for 22 years. Or no, 22 years. 14 years.
You ain't even that old.
14 years. Well, thanks. I do. I look good for my age.
You ain't even that old.
So I've been with the company for probably 14 years at that point. And hire Aaron in.
Mm-hmm. They were struggling.
Yeah.
They were struggling. They needed a good hand.
I believe it.
Good supervision.
So you sat there and gave him the best.
The only reason he can get away with these statements is because we weren't doing YouTube at the time. So there was no video evidence of who really saved the day.
That may change in the future, though.
But I do have witnesses.
Mm-hmm. But I do have an old phone at home, and I should have brought it today because I have video footage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So,
Raw,
anyways,
unedited,
this
archived.
Well, yes.
this company is a stadium seat removal company, and they go into large stadiums. Me and you've worked in Wrigley Field together,
Yep.
Georgia Dome together, or Alabama.
Alabama.
You've worked a few without me. I've worked a few without you.
Yeah.
But so basically, what we do is we go into these stadiums. The job I'm talking about in particular was a Georgia Dome in Atlanta. They were getting ready to implode it, and we removed the seats out of there. And this was going to be about a 3-week job, and some of my crew couldn't come back for the next week. So
Your crew.
we all know who's running the job. You can talk around it all you want.
Yeah,
We all know
right.
who's running the job. So, anyways, I was scrambling trying to find somebody to come down. Don't want to make
Good
it-
help. Good help.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not.
That's
even-
hard to find.
I'm not even going to argue that point because in Atlanta, good help was hard to find. And on top of that, I needed somebody that was willing to work, and also needed somebody to manage people because these were high maintenance employees. I mean,
That's a good way to put that.
is that a good way to put it?
Yes, yes, it is.
So, anyways, we were scrambling around. I had a couple guys lined up. They fall through. I had known Aaron at this point, but we weren't by no means friends or working together on a regular basis. And this was way before I started doing YouTube.
Yeah.
So, anyways, one of the guys I had lined up, which was Ryan, which is our joint brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And Ryan was going to go, and then something fell through where he couldn't get off work. So he's like, "Hey, give Aaron a call. Maybe Boomer will go down." And I said, "All right." So I knew him well enough to know he could do the job. So I got a hold of him, and I probably called you on a Thursday, and we were loaded up heading out Saturday morning or something.
Yep.
Pretty short notice.
Well, you wouldn't let me ride with you, but we left the same day.
Yeah. So there, this trip to Atlanta is what we're talking about.
Is this the one where you got to ride home with Dale?
No, we sent him down there with Dale.
Okay. Yeah.
So we had Josh Harris on the podcast. So
Yeah.
we talked about how he's a preacher.
Right. That's right. I do remember.
Yeah,
this.
and
Okay.
then Dale Sprinkle, which actually owns the company, he's a very, very religious man. Mm-hmm. And so we knew the conversation for 9 hours to Atlanta was going to be about religion.
And I am religious, but not that religious. So.
Not many people are.
So anyways, I'm the same way. I didn't want to travel 9 hours talking about every church we bashed. So the rest of the crew that was going were like the new guys riding with Josh and Dale,
Yeah.
So,
And there's nothing wrong with that.
no, there's nothing wrong with that. It was just one of those initiation. Would you call it that, I guess?
It was a very bad initiation. Not in a bad way, but it was just...
So the rest of us are all in vehicles, and we're talking and texting and voxering back and forth, and we're just trying to paint this picture of how miserable Aaron is up there in the other car.
Did you have any idea?
No, he
had
didn't
no
have a
clue.
clue.
I
He
had
didn't
no
have
clue.
which made it even better.
Which, as far as Dale goes, I've known him since I was a little bitty, and which I knew how he.
Which Dale, your dad, my dad, there was a big circle
that
of
was
friends,
it.
and everybody ran it, which is kind of how we knew each other.
Yeah, but it was. Everybody knows how I like to talk. I like to talk.
Never noticed.
Not try to be center of attention, but stay behind the scenes and share my ideas, maybe something like that. But it was one of them things where it was an area where I didn't know much about it.
Right.
Because they knew what they were talking about, and I was
thought
just
you were
kinda,
job superintendent. You kind of.
And it's one of them things too that if you
this
say
was the car ride,
if you say the incorrect thing,
yes,
it leads you down a rabbit hole that you're not prepared for.
Or I was going to be on the side of the road, trying to find Michael's number to have him come back and pick me up because they were about 200 miles
And
ahead.
I would have
of us.
done that for a fee.
But it was a time that it was 9 hours that I was speechless because I didn't know how to come into the conversation. Besides seeing a church with a goat on top of it, that scared me.
we get to Atlanta. We drive straight through. I don't think we stopped, did we?
No, we didn't stop.
So we drive. It's about 7.5, 8 hour drive from here. So we get to Atlanta, and Aaron gets out of the car, and he's stretching, and I can tell he's like, "What did I get myself into?"
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was.
So I said, "Hey man, how was the ride?" He's like, "Well, I heard the history of every church between here and Derby." But the story gets even better.
Did he get a pop quiz?
No, we decided to let
I
that.
failed the first test.
We decided to let that dog lie. So, anyways, the story gets even better because then we go in to eat, and we're starving. I mean, it's late. It's late. We're starving, and we're over there talking about this big old juicy steak we're gonna eat. We're excited because you travel with Dale on these stadium jobs. One benefit, you eat well.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, Dale, like I said, Dale's a very religious man, and I'm not saying we're not, but he's got his ways, and one thing Dale always likes to do before he eats is say grace, which is perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
So this timing couldn't have been better. So we're sitting down, we're eating, we're doing our thing. Aaron's food comes out first. Sets it down in front of Aaron, big old juicy steak. I'm just sitting there watching him, staring at him.
This is what friends are for.
Yeah.
So I wait for him. He cuts a steak off, but just perfect little sized piece of meat. Shoves it in his mouth. Takes about 2 good chomps. Just enough to get the flavor in there.
First swallow.
And I'm like,
way down.
I'm like, Dale, would you like to say grace? He's like, yeah, I would. Thanks, Mike. And I look over, and Aaron's over there trying to regurgitate. And set it back on his plate. And he hits me underneath the table. He goes, "This is how it's going to be. You're going to die."
Yeah, he did. He set me up good for that one. Well, he was sitting there. He was at the head of the table. Michael was.
Actually.
Not that he deserved that spot, but he was at the head of the table.
Well, he walked in first, I'm sure.
He did. Yeah. He grabbed his seat first. But, yeah, he was just sitting there staring at me the whole time, just giving me this stare. And I didn't know what was going on. And I thought, well, maybe I'm supposed to wait for everybody. And I thought, I was starving, okay? That car ride down, didn't get breakfast.
The least they could do is let you eat.
He saved a lot of energy not talking, though.
Yeah.
And, yes, I did. So I had plenty to say once I got down there. But, yeah, I went and I did. I just grabbed that piece. And I just put it in my mouth. And I was taking that first bite. My mouth was watering. Well,
you can see it on his face how good
half
it was.
Swallow my mouth whenever he said that and Dale said yes to saying grace. My mouth dried up and that steak got lodged in my throat. And I was like, oh no. I felt bad.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I felt that anger coming out. So I had to give that swift kick to the leg.
Right. Understandable.
Yeah.
I think it was well
done. So after all that was going, we got to roll in a state. That job was very challenging. It should have been a very simple job, and just a lot of things really kind of played against us. We worked our butts off down there.
Yes, we did.
But we also had a lot.
I did. And the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
And I kept you going.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too far off track on this. Remember the speaker guy that I got in a fight with?
Yeah.
The speakers out?
It's a good thing he's seen the size of me, or you'd have been hurt.
Well, the only reason I was running my mouth the way I was, I knew I had a little Mighty Mo over here backing me up. All that guy made me mad. We were in there working. I mean, your take, whatever, union, non-union. I see both sides of it. I'm not going to argue that. But we were working non-union.
Yeah.
And there was a union company in there taking the speakers down out of the top. And they were just being pricks and dropping stuff down on our heads, just trying to always be in our way. And what they failed to know is Mr. Dirt Perfect had control of the stadium. And they were fixing to find it out. I didn't care if they were up in a man lift basket 60 feet above our heads.
Right.
They were going to get a little outside air is what was going to happen. And after about, first time, okay, second time, you got your warning. Third time something come at me, it's game on, buddy. We're going. We ain't playing this game. We're going to find out how it works. And they got the point.
I helped him with that.
I did have backup. I ain't going to deny that point, but they got the point.
I did have a little talk with him too, so
yeah.
I mean that helped things out.
About how'd that talk go?
He was apologizing, trying to make up excuses about how it's my time of month or something. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well, it saved him. He's still here today. So
that's totally off base. But anyways,
let's get back on the real story.
So that was our first probably real working experience was down there.
Yes, loading trucks. We go load these trucks. It's hot, middle of summer.
Keep in mind, I had been there for a week and a half working prior to him showing up.
I thought I like to talk. You like to override me.
I got to state
Just
facts.
because you got the better mic. But we go in to load these trucks. He said, we get down there, and in the first truck, we're loading. He goes, all right. He said, you think you can handle it? Which I got a crew of guys in there. And I was like, yeah, we got it. So we're loading this truck. He's like, I got to go do paperwork. I got to get the paperwork done for the truck driver. Well, then I noticed that it was every truck, not just that truck, but every truck.
Every truck required paperwork.
After 4 trucks, I caught on to it. Yeah. He didn't want to be in that hot trailer, 120, 130 degrees in there. So he'd go out, and then he'd be out. And about the time we were getting ready to close stores here, he came back around. All right, you got it all loaded. Yeah, we got it all loaded. And then all he does is puts the little zip tie on, and that's it. That's all he would do. But
that's an important
the thing about it is, just something for you to remember, is when we did that job, when I had to take over, and since he couldn't get it,
right?
I had to take over. I was loading this truck. All right, heard from the owners of the company that was the most chairs that have ever been loaded
That is
on
a
one
very
truck.
inaccurate statement. Very inaccurate statement.
These were
That
the
may be the
chairs
most
together,
chairs.
not the boxes, but the ones we were
Yeah,
putting together.
pairs of two. What we call
Yeah,
pairs of two.
this is my story. Let me talk, please.
Well, then could you
You want me to
please
mute him? I'll mute him.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this trailer, they had more chairs on there than any other trailer they've ever done. They were so proud of me.
So
That's why I came in as the supervisor.
So if you're so proud of your record,
Yeah.
how many chairs were on the trailer?
Well,
Exactly.
if you're counting that body silhouette, I mean, that took the place of probably 8 or 9 chairs.
So
Can you tell me about the Christmas tree?
for the record, he did not have the record. He may have had the record going out of Atlanta, but keep in mind he also switched different styles of seats and chairs, and there's a lot of other factors go into this. But we did have fun shipping stuff back to the facility, though, because we'd find random things. We'd find random things around the stadium, like mannequins and palm trees, and they always had a present when it arrived back in
The Christmas tree's still down at the facility, isn't it?
Yeah, the Christmas tree. Yeah. I think the mannequin's still back there.
Mannequin, yeah.
We'd so that was, there was always just 2 or 3 feet of odd space at the end of the trailer, so we didn't want to go back empty. We want to get our 53 foot's worth. So
Right, of course.
we'd find all kinds of random things.
Oh, it was good.
We could talk. We have a whole podcast about stories over this stadium. Remember the cushion from the top deck and the fork truck, and
and turning off my gas and
so Aaron, the ramp getting up there in the Georgia Dome was horrible. And Aaron takes off up there with a fork truck to go get a pallet of boxes or seats or something. I don't remember what it was. And there was another Aaron that was working with us on the job, one of the foremans. And he took off up through there, and I cranked Aaron's
we
fuel all the way
stopped
down.
and we were talking.
He gets 2/3 of the way to the top, and the fork truck dies. And we didn't have radios. Next thing I know, here he comes walking back down all
Carrying a
breads.
half full.
Yeah, half full
full
thing of fuel. He's like, man, I'm out of
propane.
fuel. I'm like, well, did you try turning it on? He was mad.
I was mad. I was in panic mode. I was wanting to keep going.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh no, it's out of gas. And I tried, and I did. I unhooked it, not even thinking, because it was off. And I should have thought about it, but no,
Yeah.
I didn't. It was half full.
See, we usually just turn it like an eighth of a turn from close to the
that's
guys
where
at
I had
work.
it.
Yeah.
That's where I had it.
Just enough
where he could get, where he had a good hike ahead of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get under load and it just dies.
Yeah. So yeah, it was.
So that was our first probably working together experience was down there. And then of all the shenanigans that went on,
That was the first time I got to claim a Lamborghini.
yeah, I got to claim it. So of all the shenanigans that went on, I mean, we worked our butts off down there. All of us did, but we also had a good time.
Yeah, we did. Really good time.
And there was what was the core group of managers and as far as corporate people went down there? There was 5 or 6 of us.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah,
had
Darth
on that
Vader.
Darth Vader. That's what he called Sam because he had the sleep
Breathing
apnea
machine.
mask.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was the other thing we did to him. It was a roommate he got stuck with.
Oh yeah.
We were all like, not it. He's like, I guess I'm sleeping with Sam.
We go lay down. He opens up this briefcase. I said, "Well, it's time to go to bed." And I thought he was getting ready to do paperwork or something. Opens his briefcase up, and it's a mask.
In Aaron's world, a lot of people do a lot of paperwork.
Which that's honestly in my videos. Whenever Aaron goes outside to smoke, and I always say he's taking a paperwork break.
Yeah.
That's kind of where where this joke
the
started.
paperwork
At.
started with that. Yeah.
He just smokes his paperwork. I file mine.
I don't like evidence.
It's probably better that way.
So I'm trying to think after then, and I think we're going to cover this in another podcast, but your real job's, you're a Boilermaker. You're a
Boilermaker, yeah.
union Boilermaker. So you were able to go to Atlanta with us because you were laid off. You were in between jobs.
Yep.
And then whenever you come back here, whenever you work for me, it's usually because you're in between jobs.
Yeah.
So I don't remember what we tied into first, but after we got back to Derby, I think you actually went back to work after that. So it was probably a couple months later. You started hanging around and pitching in on some jobs and
Yep.
helping me out. And again, this is all before YouTube.
Yeah. Yep. And then, some jobs, instead of getting me out there to do it right the first time, I got to go in and I shouldn't say anything. A good buddy of mine did the welds, but the welds were very bad. And then I had to grind them out. And that's the worst thing when it comes to welding is having to grind somebody else's welds out.
Yeah.
I'm just impressed you called me a good buddy.
You welded them?
What were you talking about?
Oh, no, the beams on the one house up on top of the hill magnet.
Oh,
That
yeah.
buddy.
Yeah, no,
he's a
no.
Boilermaker too, but It was a little bit of a struggle, and the worst part about it is it's a tight place to get to. So to even get a grinder in there to try to get them out, it was a little bit of a pain.
Yeah, because of course, keep in mind, talking to Josh at this time, I'm still building houses for a living. So the amount of shop work and everything we had going on here was not like it is now.
Yeah. So I started doing that. I got you into the basements, doing the basements right. No, I gotta say, I just got started on them, a year ago, 2 years ago?
Year and a half.
As far as the basement part
goes. The first one you helped with was the one down there in Lamar, right?
I believe so.
Were you actually pulling the turret man behind the scenes? I'm pretty sure.
No, the first one, the first one was Newtonville, still same area, but the one out on the corner by the substation.
Oh, you helped on that one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did help on that one. Yeah, you're in that video. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Man, time gets away.
Yeah, that was my first one, and then the other one was, I think it would have been the second one was that one. Yeah. But then that's the one where
we did one in between down at Tennyson. But
you had a wedding to go to or something like that.
I had to go to the Chipper guy's wedding, man. It's another fellow YouTuber.
Yeah,
me and Wade.
And you left me in charge.
Yeah.
So when you admit to that?
Well, I mean, it was either him or the dog. Believe it or not, he listens better than the dog.
I don't know about Bo. I like Bo. Bo listened to me quite a bit. He was a great shop dog. Mm-hmm. He didn't try to eat my sparks or bark at my welds.
Yeah. So we don't have Maggie in the shop like we used to have Bo in here because if there's a spark flying through the air, she's got to
eat it.
Really?
Oh my God, she's obsessed with him.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that job that's the one where I became man behind the scenes because I had to come out of the shop to get that job done for him. He was in a bind and way behind, and he needed me to leave the shop. So I said, I can do it. Let me give it a shot. And that's when the video came out. He wasn't there to do the video.
That's one of them basements he won an award for, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. I mean, got it done quick because I was there.
Perfect.
But, I mean, that's just like doing the weatherproofing. I don't remember what all I had to do on there. I pretty well had to do the whole job.
Who helped? Was it Jason that helped you on that one?
No, it was that Saturday. It was me. It was just me, Quentin, and Willow.
Willow.
Yeah, Willow.
Which Quentin and Willow's Quentin's the contractor and Willow is the homeowner's son.
Yeah. Okay. So it was us. Oh, then we had Mr. Hoover show up too.
Oh yeah, this was actually some relation to Hoover.
Yeah. So it worked out where we had them come out. So
fast forward a little bit farther, and I'm Dirt Perfect now. I have a YouTube channel. We're not building houses. We're doing the excavating business thing, and you've kind of so I'll let you answer this question, and I have no idea where he's going to go with this.
Oh boy.
So what would you say your role at Dirt Perfect Excavating is now?
My role.
Is Dirt Perfect Excavating different than Dirt Perfect YouTube?
No, role is rolling.
Hold on, he just brings up a good question. I want to answer real quick. So a lot of people have figured this out, but whenever we were building, my very first business I started was Simon's Concrete and Excavating LLC, which hence the excavating and the ICF concrete. Whenever Josh and I were together, we had our company called Simon Harris Construction. And then whenever I went back out on my own after we closed down the thing, I went back to operating under the Simon's Concrete and Excavating umbrella, which was there the whole time. I was always operating in the background. I did not want to name my YouTube channel that because I wanted my YouTube channel to have a brand, and I didn't want the brand to be kind of a boring company name.
Right.
So I started the Dirt Perfect YouTube channel, and I've kind of Simon's Concrete and Excavating was so far in the past. Everybody knew me by Simon Harris, and a lot of people forgot that even existed. And then I started the Dirt Perfect thing, and now Simon's Concrete and Excavating DBAs does business as Dirt Perfect. So Dirt Perfect is what my bills are sent out as now. It's what's going to be on the side of my trucks. It's the legal name of the company is still Simon's Concrete and Excavating, but we do business as Dirt Perfect. So that's a long way to answer your question, but
is that Dirt Perfect Inc.? Or is that Dirt Perfect LLC, or is that just Dirt Perfect?
It's just Dirt Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just straight up dirt road. We try not to overcomplicate stuff here. Simple.
I'm just making it easier for all the crazies to find your address. That's all.
Well, they find that address is not going to do them any good because it's not linked to.
Yeah.
It's linked to a public place. So.
Anyway, your role at
Man behind the scenes. That's my
park.
role. I did, on a serious note, management.
Okay.
Before I came around,
He
this
says
shop
management
never looked
because
like
he
this.
has to be managed himself.
So, no, I mean, for the shows to try to make them good, I mean,
They're called videos.
videos, yeah.
This is me managing management.
Okay, well, I mean, I can run equipment, but he don't want me to show him up.
Pepsi up.
Mute his mic again so I can finish this.
You got this.
But I came out here to give him a hand, give him tips, show him. But I'm not the star of the show. The star of the show has always got to be the one that's right. But so I go out there and people, in the videos, they're always commenting, hey, that guy. I wish they knew the truth. I wish I could show them a video of me running this equipment and not looking like an idiot, but he don't let me. One of these days I will get out there and they'll see what I can do. But
Hold on, I got a story. Am I back on? So I got a story on this. So Aaron's family comes from a very long line of very, very well-known operators. Like his grandpa was probably one of the best dozer operators in these parts. I mean, him and Jerry are probably pretty much they're the top. They're the top. His dad was no slouch at all. His dad, he's got some back problems now from all his years operating, but he's still a very, very well-known operator. Like, he had a name for being one of the best.
Right.
Aaron, on the other hand, apparently he didn't get that gene.
I got that gene, he just don't let me show it.
Yeah.
So I got to make him look good.
So we were, Aaron's dad, which he's been in a few videos. He come out to one job and Aaron's running the roller, which is like, for people who don't know in the excavating world, like driving a dump truck and running the roller is like what you do if the guy ain't good enough to do anything else.
Can you believe this?
Aaron's running the roller, and for the most part, he's doing a good job. And his dad's standing up there on top of the dam with his arms crossed, just watching him. And he goes, Mike, it's probably a good thing that boy learned how to weld, ain't it?
For the record, he's probably one of the best welders in the area.
Yeah.
If not the best. Yeah.
So, yeah. He didn't miss his calling. Let's just put it that way.
I didn't have my glasses on that day.
Sun was in your eyes, right?
Yeah, sun was in my eyes.
It was just too
I didn't
dark
have my
out.
contacts. Right now, I mean, I run 150s, so as far as be able to see. But
So anyways, back to your role at Dirt Perfect.
But my role, I came in to help it as far as the shop. This is my shop.
Oh, yeah.
I'm claiming it now. But no, I came in basically to help him with that, and then he found out that I was gifted in other trades or
You
lines
had
of
other
work.
abilities.
I think what he's trying to say is I found out he was teachable.
Moldable.
And I tell you what,
You can't train somebody that don't show up. He does show up.
I will give you this. He is, and he's a good fab guy. Now, I had took some pictures of some welds I seen on a brush hog out here for the Traco brush hog you got. But I seen some welds and I had to take some pictures. I just love the welds on it. Now, as far as the fab work, he does a good job for me. I like him. I mean, there's other
He
guys.
does like I work for him now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the welds, they were a little rough. So it's kind of like the Traco. He is probably a little bit better on the Traco than me.
Right.
So I let him run it. I mean, that's his job.
Yeah.
Dozer, we're about equal.
I mean, also, and I own it.
Well, yeah, but I still manage it, so. But yeah, no, but he is good at fab work. It's like a job. He asked me what I thought, it was an easy job. He asked what I thought it'd take to finish. I said, me and you, I said, 2-3 hours. That was me and him.
Yeah.
Because we got on this.
Oh, I know which job you're talking about.
Yeah, and the guy that was supposed to be helping me was on the phone the whole time, but it took me 8 hours and I still wasn't done. And on my part, I was aggravated
I
because
think he's nicely trying to say how much he appreciates you.
I am getting to
Probably.
that.
Yeah.
But on a job like that, whenever I look at it, and I know his ability now, just like he knows my ability with operating.
I also know your limitations.
Anyways, to get him on something like that on a fab job, he does real good. But I told him 3-4 hours, a couple hours, whatever. But I said, yeah, half a day we'll be done. I was thinking me and him. And, well, he didn't show up that day. Should have, but he wasn't.
Well, you know, so sometimes as the owner of the company, he can sleep in. I guess.
So 8 hours later, I'm still not done. So I'm aggravated with myself because I told him what I could get that job done, thinking me and him.
Now, don't go taking his mess ups out on yourself.
I know.
That's the way he is, though. If he's crazy to the point, like if he starts a project and it's supposed to take 8 hours,
it takes
15 hours, we're going to work 15 hours till it's done.
Until it's done.
It was supposed to be done that day.
He and I see eye to eye on that.
Yeah. He don't like it.
No,
it gets late, he gets grouchy. He gets hungry, he gets grouchy.
Yeah. You should know this by now.
And then he won't play them scenes in his videos.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel bad sending him back into Miss Jenna like that.
It's always, whenever Aaron came along, of course, before Aaron came along, Captain Kleeman was filming with me a lot. Excuse me. So Captain Kleeman was filming with me a lot. And it's always a whole new element to editing videos when other people take your camera and record for you. Because if I record it, I know what's on there, so I can just flip through the script real quick or through the video and find that point and cut and crop. With these guys, you never know what's going to be on there, and they're always putting something stupid in there. Trying to see if I'll slip up and accidentally put it in the video. So I got to watch it from start to finish.
Oh, and I've tried and tried. I mean, if he would have an uncut series or the edited out scenes.
I mean, first of all, it'll be like 6 hours long.
I don't know how many times I've seen your white ass. I'll say that much. More than I can count, more than I care to know.
We'd have a good video there.
Well, have a good blurb while I'm walking around.
And Jason, you were part of them too.
Yeah.
You're on some uncut
which it makes
scenes.
for a good video.
Oh,
and I do laugh at it editing, but it takes a lot longer to go about doing it because you have no idea what you get yourself into. And then I'll jump up and try to film a piece in the middle of it, and I have no idea what you guys talked about. And half the time I look like I'm in a whole other world, whenever I go to edit. I'm like, what?
Generally speaking, you are.
This is true.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of turned into, so basically.
Back to that main question. Yeah, no, I came on pretty well to help in the shop, just kind of kill time for me and something I enjoy. And then, now I'm finding that slowly getting into the operating world, I'm finding I really enjoy that a lot.
Right.
And I know I'm not as good as some people. I rank up there with like Dirt Perfect on one level, but no, I like it, and the basements, I like them now that I'm getting the hang of it. So he's finding me useful in very, kind of a wide variety of jobs that you do now.
Well, that's one thing that's probably worth mentioning is I was thinking if people watch the videos now that know that the variety of work we do is pretty vast.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is.
It's from foundations to ponds to pile driving to
the demo jobs I really like.
Demos.
I like them.
I mean, it's never the same thing twice. It's always a whole new. Every day is a new adventure. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
And one thing I do want to put on the record is we probably have. I know we were talking earlier, but even from houses to big buildings, I mean, there's 3-4 hours to a day of looking and making sure, checking everything to make sure we are going to do it safe. I know some of the videos, you see us going right at it, but we spend 3-4 hours checking.
It's hard, and that's one thing you and I do really good together. We can talk about the Cam Clay demo, or pretty much any job we tackle is, what you guys see on YouTube is us showing up doing the job, and it's hard to talk about all the planning and.
That's something I'd like to add too. Is that I know Aaron pretty well now, and I would say that Aaron that you see on the Dirt Perfect YouTube channel or the Man Behind the Scenes YouTube channel is a lot different than the Aaron that's in real life as far as safety is concerned.
Well, I wouldn't say Aaron's a lot different. Aaron is Aaron, but the
side that you see.
Yeah, well, what you see filmed is after all the safety conversations, after all the processes have been figured out, and I'm not saying we act or play anything up for YouTube, but by the time we get to that point of filming,
it's already all figured out.
It's been scienced out. We know what we're getting into. We're confident with our plan. And Aaron's got a lot of experience I don't have, especially with steel and larger construction projects,
right.
From being the bull maker and stuff. So then I got a lot of experience he don't have from his operating and stuff. So it's nice to be able to get it from his view, get it from my view, and then come up with a plan there on that.
I read comments. I love comments, so I'm always reading everybody's comments, and some people are on there like this is unsafe or something like that. But it's something that we do. I mean, if we made a video on one job, going over every single step, you could make a year-long series out of it.
Right.
But it's just one of the things that we do.
That's one reason why people who comment about OSHA and safety and all that stuff in my jobs, they don't bother me one bit, because I'm on the job and I know what's going on. And people that know me well know that I'm not going to take a risk that's not worth taking. I'm not saying we do everything by the book and every extension cord is absolutely perfect. And this is kind of a little bit of a sore subject for me a little bit, because I lost my dad in an accident.
Right.
And some of these people just really knock off with some bullshit crap.
Right.
And they have no clue. You know what I mean? It's I've lived and seen both sides of it. I got more respect for life than just about anybody else, and I'm not going to put myself in a situation I'm not comfortable with. I ain't going to put him in a situation I'm not comfortable with. And if we do something that looks a little bit sketchy on camera, or something that somebody may question a little bit, there was a long conversation beforehand before it ever happened. Everybody knew the right hand knew what the left hand was doing before the brain told either one to move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're as far as looking on YouTube, you're only seeing a very small window.
Exactly.
That always amazes me, is how somebody can have such. You can be on a job for 3 days and have a 30-minute video, but somebody will have a comment that knows more about that job than you whenever you were there the whole 3 days doing it. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude, you ain't got a clue. You only seen what I chose to show you.
I've made that point time and time again, that at the end of the day, especially on my channel, it's just me. I'm filming it, I'm editing it, and I'm posting it.
Yeah.
So do you think I know what I showed you?
Yeah. And I'm not saying that we hide or hold anything out of videos. We don't do that at all. But there's more than I can't show you everything. Yeah. It'd be, if I showed you everything, it'd be 72 hours of video, and you guys would only watch the same amount you already do anyways. You know what I mean? So
and no one wants to watch a safety briefing.
No, that's utmost importance, but
but it's not important for the people at home.
Right. That's not what they're watching for.
Yeah.
Is our safety meeting. You know what I mean? They're there to watch and see how we did the job.
Right.
Yeah.
And he has a lot more formal safety training than what I do. I've got a tremendous amount of safety training, but because of his real job, he has to keep up with it on an annual basis. So that's where I get a lot of my updates from, is from Aaron. What's their take on this now? What's the proper way to do this?
You get on OSHA. Speaking of OSHA, I've got to do OSHA refresher, OSHA 30 refresher. I got to do it every 5 years. I got to take the OSHA refresher, which we got to take the background checks for Twix. We've got so many different lines. ARCS training, which is another big one down here. Anything that's basically water fed, you got to have the ARCS. ARCS is getting into school. It's just another type of training. Yeah. But we go through it, and them classes don't just pertain to boil making. It goes to shoring, trenching. I mean, as far as operators go.
I have most of them too.
Yeah.
It's far and wide.
So it's an outreach to a general safety course on everything. Pretty well all trades you could do. So I do have to go every 5 years. I got to do that. So
a lot of ours are every 3.
Yeah.
But our organization tends to be more strict just because they can.
But
it's a different conversation.
Yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve, is reading comments on videos that on Dirt Perfect's page, is people they don't get to see that. That's why I want to stress that. We go through everything, and I mean into detail.
And you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, safety aside,
and on his
just
part,
to get the job done.
I would say he's a lot safer than me on the fact that the one metal building we were taking down.
Yeah, there's more times than not I'm like, no, we ain't doing that. He's like, oh, come on, it'll be fine. No, I put my foot down. I ain't doing it.
And it took me a while. Because he was nervous more for me than anything. But where I was at, I felt comfortable, and I told which I do it for a living.
Yeah.
And I had to stress it to him.
We should probably discuss that the particular job you're talking about was the large steel demo building.
Building, yeah. Because when we got started, he didn't. He told me, he said, how you told me you get that gut feeling, it's better to just
walk away.
load up and walk away.
Yeah.
Well, and I told him, I said, I feel good. I said, as long as you're going to feel good, but I said, where I'm at, but it's just like that. The roofs, we went and checked everything inside, make sure everything was good. Mm-hmm. We went to make sure that we had everything, all the steel that was underneath was good. Everything I was going to be standing on was good.
Fire lines I think I ended up with like 4 fire extinguishers on the roof. We had the water line. We had everything set up. We had Matt was spraying everything down as I was cutting, so nothing catch on fire. But finally I got him comfortable. I got comfortable, and it took me a minute to get comfortable, and I got him comfortable, and then once we got going, which he still didn't smile until 3/4 of the way through. But yeah,
that's a good thing, I think, because he's concerned.
And then he took me to McDonald's and bought me a Happy Meal, so I was real happy.
That's all the budget we had left. But that also plays true on digging these basements, and our we get beat up a little bit about our walk boards on some of our ICF bracing and stuff. And one thing to stress there is the height off the ground is 4 feet.
Yeah.
I hear that if I was to bid that job to go in and put, which we would if it required it, but if we were going to bid that job to go in and put all the hand railing and aluminum walk planks and this, I'd never get the job. It's because my competition, I gotta do what my competition's doing, but I gotta do. But the way I bid it, I still got to make sure it's safe and everybody's going to be fine at the end of the day. So it's a different. What we do in the residential world in this area is a whole different ballgame than what you do on a big construction project. Because we go into these stadium jobs.
Yeah, that's worth noting too.
We go into these big stadium jobs. It's a whole different. It's strict by the books. Whole different ballgame again.
Which is worked into the price.
Yes, which is figured into the price. But there's a huge price difference between doing stuff safely this way and doing stuff, required safety way. I don't know how to say that. So, on these basement jobs, it may be $5,000 or $6,000 more.
Well, yeah, Joe Schmo, the homeowner, doesn't have the budget that Wrigley Field has.
No, and honestly, he don't care about that. He's gonna hire Matt down the street because he's $7,000 cheaper than They're Perfect, and he care less whether he's got a handrail up or not.
Right.
But if we start getting more than 6 feet off the ground, we start doing things a lot different. Mm-hmm. And it's just like anything else. We sit there and talk about it, discuss it, and I don't know how many times on basement jobs, for example, we're like, don't go in that corner. It may there's a 5% chance it may collapse. Just don't go over there.
Yeah.
Or we need to add another walk board or another brace or something here because that's a tendency to step and have an issue. So.
Mm-hmm. And back to the commenters too. I don't know the exact. You would probably know the OSHA law more than I would, but I know my organization supersedes OSHA. We need fall protection on a 6-foot ladder.
Really?
6-foot ladder. How many people do you see putting Christmas lights up on the first floor of their house with fall protection on it? And where are they anchoring it to?
Yeah.
That's always my question.
And places.
You got to anchor to the ladder so whenever you fall, it hits you in the head.
Funny story about that.
Go
ahead. I'll let you go
your
first.
Extension ladders, on that subject, we oversee it like some of the plants we go to is 4 foot. You get 4 foot off the ground, you have to tie off. But what they do is they exceed, like you said, what OSHA says.
Yeah, OSHA I do believe is 8 feet, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, extension ladders leaning up to 4 to 1.
Ours are A-frame. 6 foot on an A-frame.
On A-frame.
You need fall protection.
Yeah. It does vary different jobs, but I know some jobs it's 4 foot.
Right.
Step ladders. A lot of places that I work is you cannot put your feet on the second to top.
I've seen that before. Yeah.
Step, not the.
Yeah,
top.
we don't have that, but I've seen that.
Yeah, it's just different places. They just try to exceed what OSHA puts out and try to be a step farther into the safety part of it.
Right.
So.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that.
So this is a true story, and this is probably the reason that my company doesn't want me to mention their name ever. So my company is probably a little different than how you are. We have all of our safety equipment in-house in a warehouse that we can go and basically purchase under a budget. So they want you to have fall protection on a 6-foot ladder. The shortest leash that we have is 10 foot. So if you could explain that to me.
We used to set up a toll ladder to hook your lanyard to.
Yeah, because everybody, that's their argument is, well, you need to just put it 4 feet above you. I said, well, what if there's nothing 4 feet above you? What do you do?
On a lanyard, one thing that they have been doing is doing away with the lanyards, the tile lanyards. You know, they're 6 foot, which it's the ones we get are 4 foot, but they got a 2 foot bungee in them.
See, ours are, I think, 7 foot, and they have a 3 foot bungee.
Yeah. So what they've been doing with us is going with the little retractables. They're like a 4 foot retractable. So as soon as
we can't get them approved.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know the story behind it, but they've tried and they can't get them approved.
Yeah, like Protecta, and something else that a lot of people don't know is like the harness that I had out there. Everything's got to match. If you got a Miller harness, it's got to be a Miller lanyard. It's got to be a Miller retractable. You can't take a Protecta, which is another brand that's out there, and mismatch them. Even though I feel it's 110% safe, but it's just basically the company putting it out. They're not going to.
Certifications only go one way.
Exactly.
I would say, continuing on the safety talks of it though, but I'd say that also continues here in the shop with what we do.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, you guys did a lot. I guess one of the big shop projects the three of us did was the line boring on the. I mean, I'm not going to be the first to admit that I've never slipped up and not worn my safety glasses when I should have. My big thing
or earplugs.
Or earplugs. That's a big one.
I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here saying I'm an angel by no stretch of the imagination, but you know, we get judged. You know, at this point in life, 30 to 40,000 people watch everything we do in this shop, and whenever I see those comments, I just like, do they not really know how most people in this world do it? Because I go to the shop, my competition shop down the road, and it's like, how do you still have fingers? How do you still have eyeballs? You know what I mean, it's like, I'm perfectly fine with how they judge me because I know, even though it not be exactly the way it's supposed to be, we take a tremendous amount of precautions. And you know, our relationship is fun, lighthearted. We joke and cut up. You see a lot of it there, but we both got a very, very serious side, and we know when it's time. We know when to turn it on and off.
Yeah,
I think every one of us here, and really everyone who actually does any type of work that we do, they all understand one thing. Nobody wants to go home more than I do, or than you do, or than you do. You know, nobody wants to go home the same way they came in more than us,
or nor do you want to be responsible for getting somebody else hurt.
Right. So when it's important, we definitely follow the rules.
Yeah,
and that's probably one reason why we're successful in where we are is because you know that all does. That all does play into it. I guess, you know, to elaborate on that a little bit, I don't want anybody to think what we're putting out there is not reality, because it is 100% reality.
Oh, yeah.
We just have to pick and choose what you guys see, and we pick and choose what we think is the most entertaining or educational parts.
Yeah, because what the viewers would want to see.
Right,
because we can't, you know, 90% of a job is boring. You know, it really is. You know, so the 10% you see is the big milestones on the job and
the highlights.
The highlights, you know, and it's so unfortunately a lot of that stuff gets left out, but it is part of the job. And that's one thing I do strive to do on my channel, is show all the different aspects of the business, from the moving equipment to the maintenance to the shop work to some of the bidding stuff. It gets a little tricky because of respect to customers. And you know, they're actually doing the job, setting up on the job, cleaning up on the job, to help people understand why we have 3-hour minimums, why it costs so much to run that machine per hour, why trucking is a necessary evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you never know when Holly Homeowner is going to be watching this and potentially getting a job bid at that time. And, that makes sense.
Yeah, and we get that comment a lot. I never thought about it like that. I didn't realize that was that much involved. Or it's I of course, you know, back to the shop stuff. A lot of people are like, oh, I can't believe you highlight out. Think about the money you can be making out on a job. Well, that's why my fleet's set up the way it is. Is usually if something goes down, I got something else I can use in its place. And it's going to rain. It's the way the world works. You know? It's going to be cold one day.
And the fleet just keeps getting bigger.
So it
quite large.
So anyways, it you know, it works out, and I know it sounds crazy, but I actually enjoy working on equipment. I wouldn't want to do it for a living, but I don't mind working on stuff, turning wrenches every once in a while.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do it for a living.
I did for a while, actually.
Yeah.
Fast, so.
But
But yeah, that's so. I guess from there, we kind of talked about how we got to where we're at now. We got people want to stay tuned. We got some cool stuff coming up.
Yes, we do.
Last winter we did the rebuild on the back of the semi truck.
Yep.
We did all the suspension. We did the headache rack. And
was that last winter already?
Yeah.
And I want to give a big shout out to Captain on that one.
Yeah.
He did all the high torquing on that.
Which we didn't have.
We didn't have no hydraulic or electric high torque. Which,
I offered to send him one.
that kind of upsets me because he had Captain high torquing them, and I felt sorry for him because it was, you know, everything was manual.
You're talking about the U-bolts on the Mac.
Yes,
on
the Mac, on the rear end of the Mac.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a high torque, all them, and I think we did one. Me and you did one.
Well, I think the one me and you did, we screwed up and had to cut back off.
Yeah, we had to cut it back off and get a new one. But yeah, it wasn't easy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a task. Now, if we could have flipped the truck upside down and you're doing
much
it
easier.
instead of overhead, it'd be flat.
Yeah.
Then it would have been a lot easier.
Because all we had was a torque multiplier and a big torque
Yes.
wrench, and you're pulling against a neoprene gasket. It's we knew going in was going to be a bear, but we muddled our way through. And Captain probably did. He did most of it himself.
Yeah.
And at some point, we are going to have him on here.
Yeah. Captain Cleveland will be on here. That'll be another good podcast. Me and him worked together for years. But then we did the headache rack. So I guess my point, the first big winter project we're going to tie into is we did the semi truck last year. The lowboy trailer needs some work on the back end of it. So we're going to get that in here. But we got a big cherry hanging. We got a big prize hanging out there once we get this lowboy truck done.
Yep.
We're going to build us a dump truck.
A nice one.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got one question.
A big one, too.
Oh, boy.
Whose name tag's going on the driver's door on that one?
See, one thing you got to watch about Aaron is he sneaks around and he labels stuff and tries to claim it.
Yeah.
I hop in the semi the other day and it's got Captain Cleveland and Dirt Perfect below the driver's door. And I thought, that's kind of cute. But then I really got a good chuckle when I walked around the other side and it said man behind the scenes below the passenger door. Oh my gosh. So.
Yeah.
But no, we got some cool projects coming up. We get that done. We got a few oddball things. And then if you guys don't know yet, we bought a 6-wheel drive Paystar International 5000. Mm-hmm. We're going to stretch the frame on it, put a dump box on it, put lift axle in it, paint it. It's going to be a pretty cool project.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it's going to be an awesome project. But back to the story, whose name's going to be on the driver's door?
I'll make you a deal. You get your CDLs, we'll put your name beside it. Until then, you're going to be on the passenger seat.
You're going to eat them words one day.
Yeah, you are.
He can't break as many mirrors as Captain.
Because I've done seen a little off-roading that it can do. I've seen how it can get off-roading. You know how I like Jeeping. I love Jeeping.
We've got videos for you.
Oh, yeah.
She's
yeah.
a capable girl.
That's a one big Jeep.
Yep.
So, all right, so we'll kind of wrap this up in conclusion here. I guess the last thing I want to talk to you about is what's your experience? I mean, you've got your own YouTube channel now. Aaron Bumm, Man Behind the Scenes is the name of the channel, so we'll try to link that in the description. Go check Aaron out. But I'm trying to think, whenever you started, I guess you've been with me since the beginning of my channel.
Yeah, before that.
But you didn't really start filming with me until I had probably maybe 10,000 subscribers.
Probably
somewhere
like
in there. So I guess where I'm going with this is like, what's been your experience, one, working with me filming, and two, with your own channel?
I'm not near as good as you guys. I mean, as far as the like editing videos and stuff like that, I enjoy it. At first, I thought, I ain't gonna lie, I thought, man, this is a joke. There ain't no way.
Everybody seems to have that.
Yeah, it does. It was real weird, and the people I know. I mean, you don't meet them. It's just like when we met Ed up there.
Yeah,
you don't actually meet all these
full tilt grading.
Yeah, full tilt grading. It's not that you. It's not that you.
We just lost the video, but we got a couple minutes left. We'll keep going on audio here.
it's not the people that you actually get to meet, but it's people you write back and forth to. You end up getting a relationship with them, which I think is really neat.
Which is one thing we said from the beginning is, the coolest thing about YouTube is the people you meet. And YouTube does a really good job of lining up like-minded people. People have the same interest.
Yeah, and I really like that. I think that's probably one of my favorite things about it, reading their comments and actually commenting back to them. And I don't have the time. Like I've been on nights and we're working 6-7 days a week, 13, 14 hours a night. So I didn't have the time. I mean, a lot of people are like, hey, when are you going to put another one out? When are you going to put another? Which I do got one. I got it ready to go, which hoping to get it out real soon now. But it's one of the things where I just don't have the time. I get home from night shift, it's take a shower, go to bed, wake up, take a wake up shower, go to work. I just didn't have the time. But I get laid off and I get a little help from you guys. That's what really helps, making these videos, because when I do them myself, they're not as good as
I haven't put one out in 3 months now.
So let's just say, for example, whenever you're filming with me doing a project or something, I guess one thing worth noting too is we don't film everything we do.
No.
I'd say probably every third or fourth project or job we film.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit more we do that don't get filmed.
It's more or less, you got to pick a job. So you try to pick the job that there's going to be something unique about it, or it's different than what we have done, or something like that.
So whenever we're working together on a project or working together on a job and we're filming, would you say it's a nuisance, enjoyable? Both?
It started out as I was thinking a nuisance. As far as I didn't know much about the cameras. I didn't know how to work them anyway. So me trying to figure it out and still do my job, that's where I was finding it. I hate getting beat. And it was like that camera was beating me, and that I could not stand, because I'd have to sit there, I'd have to run over to him or holler at him on the rail. I don't know what's going on, it's not working. But then after I got the hang of it and found out I could work that camera,
we were all in trouble.
Yeah. But then I found out I could work that camera better than him. Then that's whenever I got to wanting to run the camera more than work. So I turned out to where I thought it was going to be a big nuisance to where I like it now. I enjoy it. I think it's fun.
I think I'd like to get your take on this, but I think one thing people would be really, really surprised about is how little time we actually dedicate to filming on a job or project.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if it slows down that project or job at all, it is minutes at the most. Wouldn't you say that?
Yeah, it's not much. I mean, because we're moving quick, and if we can't get the camera where we want it, or it's something slowing down, we got to keep going. We still got to keep going.
And safety is probably always number one. Job production is number two. Filming the video is probably 3, maybe 4 on the list.
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of suppers I'm getting, that's on the list too.
Yeah, my wife cooks for him and not me. That's a whole other podcast.
You know how that is, Jason.
You are picky.
You know how it is.
Oh yeah.
When he ain't here, we get fed good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard. That's one thing you can't really shoot is like a behind the scenes video.
Right.
But you get the comments from time to time. Well, I hope you back charged him for all the time you screwing with that camera or this, that, and the other. I'm like, I just carry it with me. It's one reason I film the way I film and we got it streamlined as much as what we do. I mean, like if there's a big shot to be had, like a big part of a building falling or the last piece of a house coming down, we may spend an extra 2 or 3, maybe 5 minutes at the most setting out an extra camera or two. But as far as the day-to-day just operations, hammering out jobs, I got the camera with me. I'll film a little bit while I'm working. I'll throw it to him. He'll film a little bit while he's working.
And, you back pay while you're fueling the equipment or greasing it, right?
Yeah, I mean, exactly not.
Just curious.
But I think, and even customers that we work for, I think they're even surprised of how little of time we dedicate to actually filming.
Yeah.
Because, the job's paying the bills, not YouTube, so that's got to be
right.
That's got to be first priority. So, anything you'd like to add in closing?
When I first started, though, it was getting into the time. I was struggling getting the camera going. Once you get the hang of it, and what's nice is when we're working, it's like he'll know a spot that hey, it's going to get a good picture here where you can just set it real quick or put it on a piece of equipment.
One thing we do is I always know when he's aggravated, and I know what buttons to push to pick on him.
Yeah, he does.
And that's when I go beep beep beep, record, The downfall of that is he figured out how to use the camera. He knows how to do the same thing to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will
Yeah.
say that I think as a cumulative effort between us and Kleeman and everybody, we've all figured out pretty much the perfect setup
Yeah.
to make it as easy to set a camera up as possible.
Yeah, it would never. I mean, our videos are never going to be, TV quality production
Right.
video. It's just, I mean, that's not what we're striving for.
Right.
But we're trying to make sure that we explain each step of the job or the process, kind of why we did what we did, what the thought process behind what we did was, and then try to throw a little bit of humor and fun in there along the way. And
Yeah.
One thing I have found is you go to a job, and he's had employees, I've had employees, but if you can't go to work and still have fun,
yeah,
to me it's not worth
What's the
going.
point?
You're spending, you think about it, you spend most of your time at your job. And if I can't go to work and enjoy myself, and I have done it before, I have drug up. I went on a job and I was on the job for 4.5 days when I finally said it ain't for me.
Right.
Everybody just it was like you're against each other. You ain't getting anything done. When you go to work and you're having fun, and people that don't believe me, they need to try it. Because you go to a job where you're having fun, you'll want to go to work every day.
Yeah.
and you'll probably end up working harder because everybody's pushing each other by everybody to keep going, and that's. I mean, we work our asses off,
Yeah.
but hell, we'll work a 12-hour day and it'll be over before we know it.
And a lot of accidents that occur is aggravation. You're not thinking right in your head. It's aggravation. So if you can go to work with a clear mind and have a good time and get along with everybody you're working with, giggle, cut up, whatever.
Yeah.
I think I'd also add that is everybody's got to respect everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Well, where's my respect? I don't feel like I get it from you.
I should have put most of everybody. No, but I mean, in all honesty, whenever he comes to me with an idea or a concern, I probably won't agree with it, but I'll at least respect it.
Yeah. You'll take it seriously before just.
Yeah, I mean, I'll at least listen to it, you know, and then I'll blow holes in it and tell him why it's not going to work. But no, and he'll do the same with me. I mean,
Why it's not going to work?
how many times have you said that and it did work though?
I've been hearing you tell me I'm right a lot more here lately.
This would be a YouTube challenge if somebody can go back and find in one of my videos where I said you're right.
I can tell you of a experience that's recently happened where he should have told us that we were right
Yeah.
with our warranty work.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
elbow's still feeling that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Karma.
I think it was fine from the get-go, don't you, Jason?
You know,
I'll do it right now. You guys. Well, I don't know. Actually, neither one of you were right because I still ended up finding the problem.
I got to get back to that. And you won't see him say, you were right, Aaron. Man behind the scenes, you're right. You're right. Because he edits that out.
No,
That's what I hate about that editing guy.
If it ever happened, I'd leave it in there.
Oh, I think maybe you'll find it 2 or 3 times out of the 200-300 times he told me that I was right. But no arguing.
Don't get mad at me because you're not right.
Now, every time I tell him he's right, he makes sure it's in one of them videos.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I'll make you repeat it, and then I'll put both of them in there.
Yeah. What you say again?
So, I think we're going to have to wrap this one up here. We hope to have Aaron back on. I think we're going to try to maybe cover a little bit of your real job, how a power plant works, what you do there, your actual talent of welding and fabricating and all that. So
slightly more serious, but not really.
Yeah.
Being a boss.
We could go on and on and on about stadium projects and smacked in the head with a fish. I mean, we've covered a lot of ground, but
that's Karma, your friend Karma.
Is that the name of the fish, Karma? But no, we cover a lot of ground. We have a lot of fun. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the content we put out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
If you need to go check out Aaron's channel, Aaron Bumm behind the scenes.
Hey, I'm trying to get them videos getting
You're doing
better.
pretty good. You're what, 4,000 subscribers at this point?
You'll be past me before this airs, I bet.
I doubt that.
I don't. And I welcome you with open arms.
We're moving on.
Yeah.
So.
But this is what, episode 9, I think we
I think
decided.
we're gonna have to get our hash mark system going here at some point.
So we're at episode 9, and this has been a few points from perfect. As always, if you've got comments or concerns, questions, put them down below in the comments, or shoot us an email at fewpointsfromperfect@yahoo.com.
Thanks, Aaron, for coming out, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.